Hey, yo, what's going on, guys? It's Marguerite here. Welcome back to another toy review by yours truly. And oh boy, oh, I am excited for this review because today we are taking another look at yet another Lego Technic vehicle, if you couldn't tell by the title. And this one is yet another big boy, because as if I didn't have enough giant cars in this collection as is. But oh boy, this one is very exciting because first of all, this is a set that to some extent I have been slightly interested in getting, but I did not expect this set to be as good as what the final product ended up being like. So let's just jump right in because, like I said, this is going to be a big one. Today we are taking a look. Doesn't even fit my whole, doesn't even fit on my turntable. The Lego Technic Ferrari SF-24. Yes, and this is, like I said, a absolute just titan of a set. And you know what? Like I said, I was pleasantly surprised by this thing because I never thought I'd be owning it. But here it is. So this is one of the more recent things that Lego Technic's been doing, and that is these giant 1/8 scale Formula One racers. Because believe it or not, it's not just this guy, but there I believe are like 2, 3 more of these. But this is the most recent, and from what I've heard, is the best of these Formula One racers they've been doing in recent years. So let's just see how good it is. So taking a look at this titan of a box, you guys can see the awesome Ferrari SF-24 text right there. And of course we get this beautiful shot of the Ferrari SF-24, which, you know, even though I'm not really that crazy for Formula One like I know some people are, I can't lie. This is just, I mean, colors galore. I mean, well, that and, God, holy sponsorships. But yeah, this thing is just amazing looking here. And of course you get on this nice beautiful backdrop, so that way you know this is one of those adult collectors ones for sure. And then of course down here you do have the Ferrari logo, because yes, this is officially licensed as you would expect. And of course you get the Lego Technic logo right there. This is set 42207, and this set has 1,361 pieces, which compared to some of the bigger cars I've built in my collection, this was nothing. Nothing at all. Oh boy. Spinning around to this side of the box, of course we get a whole bunch of nothing, but back of the box here, we do get another shot of the SF-24. Of course we get the Ferrari logo once again, and of course we get some nice dimensions for the car, at 61 centimeters, 24 inches, and then 5 inches or 13.2 centimeters tall. And then, of course, on these little snapshots here, we get some more look at the car. We get a look at the back. We get a look more at sort of the front section. And, of course, we get a look at the real-life car, which, I will say, looks pretty spanking right there in all of its Ferrari glory. And, of course, on this side, we do have, of course, another look at the SF-24. Of course, got the Lego logo there. And you'd be surprised at how heavy this box is. But, well, that is even with it, like with all the pieces in there. Oh boy. And of course, at the top, we get another Lego logo. Of course, you get a nice side profile view of the car. Of course, you get an SF-24 or Ferrari logo once again. And we get an actual size of the hubcaps. And on the bottom, we do get, if I can actually turn this, again, giant thing, a whole bunch of nothing. So, with the giant box out of the way, and of course with a quick jump cut like so, let's go ahead and bring in the SF-24. As you guys can see, I have to practically pull my camera all the way back. Look at this thing! Look at this thing! What an absolute beast. So yeah, this is the SF-24, and yeah, this definitely owns up to the 1/8 scale, like, legacy, I guess, we've gotten so far, because holy, I mean, I have, like, some of the smaller Speed Champions ones, but I was not prepared for how big this thing was going to be, because, like, oh lordy. Let's just go ahead and, divert our attentions a little bit to just the front of this beast, because, oh boy, there's a lot to look at here. So taking a look a little bit more at the front, you guys can see just how aggressive this thing is. I mean, for a Formula One racer, I mean, it is definitely designed for speed, as you would expect. So taking a look at the front splitter here, you can see all these lovely, lovely stickers right here, because as you're going to see throughout this entire just overview of the car here, you're going to see that this thing is decorated to all get out with sponsorships, as you would expect. Hence why I kind of call Formula One racers, at least me personally, billboards on wheels, because that's really what they are. Of course, you got the HP logo here, V-Power for Shell V-Power. Of course, you get HCL software, and we get that, of course, over here. Of course, at the top here, we got Amazon, Palantir, Pirelli, Santander, and then, of course, right here, you get a tiny little Ferrari logo. Teeny tiny one right there. Now, of course, as we look at the sides of the splitter, we can see some more Santander logos right there. And then, as we turn to the side, we can see yet some more sponsorships, as you can see. And, of course, we get these beautiful Pirelli tires as well, which I should say are exclusive to this set and are brand new rubber tires for the Technic theme, which is awesome to see brand new tires, let alone ones that are exclusive to this set. And what's also nice about these too is that these were packaged in their own separate box, which is awesome. So they weren't scratched, they weren't all gooky, they were just really, really nicely packaged, which is nice. And of course, you do get a nice look at the printed hubcaps as well. So that is nice. The one thing that doesn't have stickers on this giant thing. Of course, as we look at the side here, we can see some more logos. As you can see, we got some Santander right there. Of course, over here, we have another look at some more stickers. We got Richard Mill. I don't know what that's supposed to be. And of course, we get on here, we get HP. Of course, we have, of course, more Shell. We have, what is this? I think it's just Jaguar right here. We got Siva Logistics, Ray-Bans. Yeah, just all kinds of sponsorships all over this giant thing. And of course, hidden behind this flap here, you can take a look at the side diffusers right here. That, of course, help disperse air across the entire right monocoque body we got here. So that is really cool to see. And of course, over here we do have, of course, some more sticker details. V-Power, HP. Of course, we have some more HP. Amazon. Of course, we have Santander there as well. We got a teeny tiny show logo there. Just, again, just stickers everywhere. Of course, right here, the driver's seat, we got some more stickers, more stickers. And of course, we got another Ferrari logo. I mean, there's something to find on this thing. All kinds of little details. Just speckling this entire thing. So now, as we spin around to the back, of course we... Okay, hold on. Sorry about that. I actually had this back part assembled incorrectly, so I just had to quickly fix that. But anyways, back to where I was. Take a look at the back. Of course, we get some more sticker details. And of course, we get another look at some of the aerodynamics of the car. Of course, you have the rear tail light right there, which is very tiny, surprisingly, for how giant this thing is. Of course, on the side, we get even more sticker details as we go across the entire body. And then, of course, at the tail section here, we do get some more HP logos and yet some more stickers. And if we go all the way to the top once again, we can see we have another HP logo. And, of course, we get a better look at the overall sticker detailing as well. And, of course, we get some more HP logos on the little, what do you call it, the little front, little flaps on the car as well. Okay, so now with the overview out of the way, let's go ahead and take a look at some more of the interesting functions of this car, because believe it or not, this car does have quite the number of functions despite being basically an F1 racer, right? So I think we'll start off with, of course, the suspension system, because like any good 1/8 scale car, this thing is loaded with suspension. So, of course, at the front, we do get some very interesting suspension right here, which actually, and you guys can't really see it, but there's essentially two springs, which I believe are the same springs that were used on the Lamborghini some time ago, the Sion, and then it's linked up to a couple suspension rods, right? And you've got a couple little like pull rods right there, and those all work together to get this beautiful suspension action. And it feels just really, really good to do. And of course, that also transitions onto the back, where again it uses a very similar setup where you have two springs positioned laterally from each other, and then all these little suspension links all come together to get this beautiful suspension action, which of course for those who have this and have built it, you'll know just how impressive this is, because it's pretty darn accurate to how the real thing suspension system works. And again, it does so very, very naturally. There's no hang-ups, there's no snags, nothing. It just works exactly the way that you would expect. So that on its own is pretty darn awesome. But, of course, we do get some more functions here. In particular, we get a working steering system. Now, there are two ways that you can do this. First and foremost, you do have the steering wheel right here, which, let me see if I can get a light here, so that way you guys can see inside. You do get a teeny tiny little steering wheel in there, which sadly does not have the Ferrari logo on it. And essentially, what you want to do, of course I gotta get my light just right. There we go. You can essentially turn it, and as you see, as you turn the steering wheel, the wheels will turn. So let me see if I can, better show this. So as you turn the wheel, as you can see, the wheels will turn as well. Now, thankfully, the rubber tires aren't too, textured, so I can very easily do this, but it is a really, really tight spot. Now, thankfully, LEGO has solved this problem already. Moving my light once again, because right here you have this big giant gear hanging out the top. Now, of course, if you turn this gear, this will not only turn the steering wheel inside of the driver's seat, but it'll also turn the wheels as well. And again, this is just a very beautiful, simple steering mechanism that goes through basically the entire front section of the car, and of course allows it to do just this, which is really, really cool. Really awesome feature, even if it is kind of standard for these cars of this size. Now, of course, let's get into something a little more interesting. So let's shift our attentions now to the back of the car, which, of course, has all these beautiful sticker details once again. But there is a hidden function underneath it. So as you can see, it does kind of wiggle a little bit in the back here. And all you want to do is just simply pop it off like so. And you get access to the V6 engine inside here. Now, of course, as per standard with these cars, if you move it, the pistons will, in fact, move. But they will not be engaged until you activate the 2-gear differential here in the back, or the gear shift right here, which, of course, is a dual gear shift. So, of course, you can move it either into this gear, which I believe is first gear, or like so, and then you just click it twice, and now it is in second gear. And if you engage it in either the first and or the second gear, now the pistons will start to move. And of course, this top part will also move as well, which is, again, absolutely fantastic that they even thought to include this feature. As a matter of fact, and this is a little bit unusual for the self-proclaimed Lego Jay Leno himself, but I actually didn't know that Formula One racers had gear shifts in them. I thought they only had one speed. But no, apparently they have two. So, the more you know. But it is very simple to engage both of these gears, obviously. And of course, they are beautifully color-coded, so that way you know you're in first and or second gear, which is awesome. Now, that's not all that's back here. If we look back here as well, even though it's really hard to see, but there is an actual differential in the back here. So, let me go ahead and see if I can show this. If you spin one wheel, and of course if I have the gear engaged, the other wheel should spin in the opposite direction. Or at least it would, but unfortunately it is a little too heavy, these wheels, to really show off the differential. But trust me, it is in there. So that is awesome to see as well. And of course, to put back on the back section, all you do is just simply line it up, and it just gently clicks into place. Very discreet, you wouldn't even know it was there, which is exactly how it should be. But of course, I know that it's there, for sure. Now, moving on to the rear splitter here, there is one more function that this car has, and that is, of course, the adjustable splitter. So taking a look back here, you just have some nice friction pins in here that, and all you do is just simply twist and turn it, and you can adjust the splitter to your desired angle. It's not a crazy feature, but it is accurate to the real car, where it does in fact have an adjustable rear splitter. So that is nice, at the very least. But yeah, believe it or not, that's pretty much all the features that this car has. Not a lot, but still fairly interesting nonetheless. So let's go ahead and see if I can even get this thing on the turntable real quick. Well, I tried to get it on my turntable, but fortunately, the thing was so big, it was actually like causing genuine stress to the motor inside of my turntable. So I guess we're just going to have to go with this angle for the time being. Now let's quickly, now that this thing is actually settled, to the, of course, lore section of the Ferrari SF-24. Which, surprisingly, there was not a lot of information on this guy. I know, strange. But, yes, there's not really that much to talk about with this thing, so let's just jump right in. So, the Ferrari SF-24, also known as Project 676, is a Formula One race car designed and constructed by Scuderia Ferrari, which competed in the 2024 Formula One World Championship. Now, of course, it was designed by, of course, a professional team here, which, if we take a look here, there's actually quite a bit. So we have Enrico Cardile, who was the technical director and the chassis designer, Fabio Montecchi, who was chief engineer and vehicle concept designer, Enrico Rocca, head of supply chain and manufacturing, Tiziano Battistini, head of the chassis design, Marco Adorno, who was the head of vehicle performance, Louis Biguá, head of aerodynamic operations, Diego Tondi, head of aerodynamic developments, and Rory Byrne, who was a technical consultant. Now, of course, this car was preceded by the Ferrari SF-23, and it was succeeded later on by the Ferrari SF-25. Now let's go ahead and get into the technical specifications, which there's actually quite a bit on this thing. So starting off with the chassis, it is a carbon fiber composite chassis with survival cell and honeycomb structures. And for the front suspension, we have a double wishbone pushrod. And for the rear suspension, we also have a double wishbone pull rod, not push rod, pull rod for that. Now moving on to the engine, it is a Ferrari 066 by 12 engine, and it is a 1.6 liter, 98 cubic inches with a direct injection V6 turbocharged engine, which is limited to 15,000 rotations per minute in a well-mounted rear-wheel drive layout. And it also comes stock, at least, with a 1.6 liter, 98 cubic inches of turbo rear mid-mounted power. So, yeah, this thing can go fast. Very fast, in fact. Now, of course, the motor in this is, as a matter of fact, electric, apparently. Or at least I believe it's actually a hybrid here. It is kinetic and thermal energy recovery systems for the motor in here, which is, again, pretty impressive for a Formula One racer. And of course, for the transmission, we get 8 forward and 1 reverse transmission. And for the fuel, it of course uses the Shell V-Power fuel. And for lubricants, it uses a Shell Helix Ultra, and it comes stock tire-wise with Pirelli P0 Dry Slicks, as well as Pirelli Cinturatos, which are wet and treaded. And I'm guessing for this one, it is using, well, the P0s, so these are the more dry slick tires, but I guess it can also have treaded ones as well for more, I guess, rainy conditions. Now, in terms of competition history, because of course this is a Formula One racer, so it does compete quite a bit. We do get quite a bit with this sucker. So, sorry about that, guys. My computer just crashed in the background. Anyway, so back to where I was. Right. So, competition history. We'll start off with the notable entrants. So apparently the first one here was the Scuderia Ferrari with rounds 1 through 5, and the Scuderia Ferrari HP with rounds 6 through 24. Now, in terms of notable drivers, we have Charles Leclerc being number 16, number 55, Carlos Sainz Jr., and then we have 38, Oliver Bearman. Now, of course, as I said, this thing did debut in the 2024 Grand Prix, in this case, the Bahrain Grand Prix, and its first win was in the 2024 Australian Grand Prix. Its last win was in the 2024 Mexico City Grand Prix. And in terms of its last event overall, it last was seen at the 2024 Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Now, in terms of the total amount of races this car's competed in, it's competed in 24 races across its lifespan, with 5 total wins to its name, and it has 22 podiums to it as well. Of course, it has 4 poles as well, and competed in at least 4 laps per race. So, yeah, this thing's definitely seen its fair share of competition. And from what it sounds like, it seems to at least put up a fair fight here. Which makes sense considering it's Ferrari. Of course it's going to put up a fair fight against any other cars that could possibly want to try to beat this thing. But yeah, so that basically kind of wraps it up for the lore segment. Yeah, I know, kind of disappointing. Not a whole lot to talk about with this one. But the stuff that is here is pretty darn awesome nonetheless. So now let's go ahead and quickly shift camera perspective once again, and let's go ahead and do some quick comparisons with this absolute monster of a car. Alright guys, so for our first comparison, what better place to start than of course with yet another one of Ferrari's just absolute gems. In this case, the awesome Ferrari Daytona SP3, and as you guys can see, even next to yet another one of their 1/8 scale gems, this thing still is somehow bigger than the SF-20, or just about a little bit bigger than the Daytona. But then again, the Daytona is supposed to be a supercar, so I guess it makes sense that it's going to be a little more, I guess, form-fitting here. But still, I mean, yeah, I have to pull my camera all the way back just so you guys can even see these two together. Just absolutely insane. But for our next comparison, moving this giant out of the way. Set you over there for now. Let's grab, of course, my very first car in this size scale. That, of course, being the Lamborghini Sian FKP37. Sorry. But taking a look at these two now, again, you can see just how big it is. It's somehow even bigger than this guy, which at the time was the biggest car in my whole collection I have here. But nope, it is somehow the new biggest, which I think is absolutely hilarious. And moving him out of the way. For our last comparison, you know what? We're going to do a funny real quick here. We're going to do a funny. Matter of fact, it's so funny, in fact, I'm going to have to do yet another jump cut. So, see you guys here in a second. Yes, okay, so for our last comparison, as I said, absolutely hilarious, here we have it next to my original Speed Champions SF-24. This isn't even fair. Like, come on, man. I mean, look at this. Look at this. This is just stupid. I'm sorry, but like, come on, man. Nah, but oh boy. As you guys can see, I mean, you have don't talk to my son ever again. Type energy. Just absolutely hilarious. And with that, that pretty much concludes it for my review on the LEGO Technic 1/8 scale SF-24 Formula 1 race car. All in all, this thing is an absolutely fantastic release from LEGO. And if this is indeed the final F1 racer they're going to do in their very surprisingly extensive series of these cars, you know what? What a fantastic note to end on. I mean, this has to be, in my humble opinion, and I'm sure a lot of yours opinion, the definitive F1 racer that LEGO's ever made. I mean, this is fantastic. After this, I don't know if I ever want to see another F1 racer ever again, because this is perfection. This is glorious. Just really, really well done for what it is. And you know what? For how much you're paying for this set, because like any set of this size, it is not cheap, I think it is worth every penny. Absolutely fantastic. So with that, guys, as I said, that's going to wrap it up for this one. So if you guys did enjoy this review, please make sure to drop a like on this video, subscribe if you're new, and ring that notification bell so that way you guys get notified for all my uploads. Later, Eat Squad, and have a good one.